Cloudflare decided to hire too many people and are now actually realizing that they can't afford this many people and they're letting that go.
Right there. She just did something that you should never do, particularly when you're fighting for your job. Hey there, Cornell Jermaine here. Listen, this week I want to highlight a particular video that seems to have been going viral here on TikTok, and it is a video of a young lady who gets on a call with her superiors from work, knowing that she's about to get fired. Now, I'm highlighting this video because I believe there's a lesson here that I think might not be blatant to many people, particularly those of a certain generation, because there's a certain kind of way of doing things that is not traditional in the professional sense, and I think we're seeing a lot more of it in this generation, and I feel that there's a certain group of people in this generation that have been desensitized to the effects of such activity. And I'll explain as we get further into the video, but I want to jump into this video. It's about 8 minutes or so I want you to bear with me because I believe this will help you in your efforts when it comes to both maintaining and probably even securing a job. Here we go. So she says, point of view, you're about to get laid off.
Hey, Brittany.
Hi.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My name's Rosie. I'm just joining the call. Nice to meet you. I'm on the HR team.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting with me and Rosie. We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Sure.
So I started August 25th. I've been on a 3-month ramp, and then it was 3 weeks of December, and then a week of Christmas, and then here we are. I have had the highest activity amongst my team. Since I've started, I have had 3 contracts out, done a really great job managing my deals up until the very end that decided not to close last minute. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense for me in my Cloudflare journey here so far. Also, every single one-on-one I've had with my manager, every conversation I've had with him, he has been giving me nothing but I am doing a great job, I have had great activity, I have really great meetings, I'm picking up the products very quickly, and things have been going really, really well. I make really great relationships with my clients. So I disagree that my performance hasn't been, I haven't met performance expectations, when I certainly have, just because I haven't closed anything officially.
I hear you.
Also, why are you doing this and not my manager? We've never met, so this seems a little odd that my manager has no idea that this has been happening and the director has no idea that this has been happening. So I'm just definitely confused, and I would love an explanation that makes sense.
100%. Real quick, let me carve out the 2 threads. The latter of why I'm on this conversation, I'll put that one to the second half, and Rosie might be better to explain the process of who's giving this information in the prior piece, which is your feedback and notes about your performance. So let me add a little color context to that. So just for clarification, you are not being singled out in this. Your peers are also being collectively assessed on performance. This is a collective calibration for Cloudflare. So I just want to clarify that piece. I won't be able to add any kind of specifics on numbers or...
Wait, can you explain for me why Brittany Pietsch is getting let go?
Here's the problem. I think this is often done in these kind of situations. She's taking it personal as if to say there's something she specifically did. And that's not always the case in these kinds of situations. Sometimes, for a lack of a better term, you or your job is just collateral damage in the bigger scheme of things that may be going on behind the scenes. While I understand her standing up for herself in the sense of proving and bringing to light, I should say, her performance, it still does not justify just because you've been performing well that they have or should be keeping you in relation to the other people who are losing their job, whatever the case may be. So she's looking for an answer from them that they really probably cannot give, are not privy to give. You know, sometimes they know why, but they can't speak to that because that's not their reign or their jurisdiction of authority. But I think she's pushing for something that she really can't get from these individuals. And while it looks decent and honorable for her to be standing up for herself and talking about her specific performance, I don't think it's serving her well in this particular conversation. I do love the fact, let me add, that she mentioned those things, but I think she should have stopped it there. But she continues. Here we go.
I won't be able to go into specifics for numbers.
Wait, why though? I just started. I've been working extremely hard. Just because I haven't closed anything that has nothing to do with my performance on a 3-month ramp with just 1 month with 2 major holidays in the middle, I don't think that has anything to do with why I should be let go, if that makes sense. So I really need an answer and an explanation as to why Brittany Pietsch is getting let go, not why Cloudflare decided to hire too many people and are now actually realizing that they can't afford this many people and they're letting that go.
Right there. She just did something that you should never do, particularly when you're fighting for your job. So now you're telling me on one hand that your performance has been great and you're not understanding why you're being let go, and you're defending or standing up for yourself in the effort of keeping your job. But then in the next breath, you insult the company as to say,
y'all hire too many people and that's y'all fault, and why should I be a victim of y'all mistake?
Not a good look. But she continues.
If that's the real answer, I would rather just you tell me that instead of making up some bullshit and telling me that right before I lose my job from someone that I've never met before. If you can respect that.
Yeah, I can totally.
So this thing is so layered and so wrong on so many levels. So now you've just insulted the company and you've just disrespected these superiors. Now, granted, you've never seen them before. You don't know who they are. And in the back of your mind, you're like,
first of all, who are you? Why are you telling me this and not my manager?
let me help you understand something. When it comes to these large corporations, you don't know who is who. And whoever is sitting before you giving you this news is obviously someone who has the authority to do so. But here's the catch. They could also have the authority to help you save your job. And I don't fault this young lady, because I think she's doing something that I think is done a lot in our society as it pertains to social media. She's just acting out of emotion. I believe everything she's saying is true as it relates to her position, her performance on the job. But because she has heard about all this activity from her peers and now she's gotten the invite to a meeting, she already kind of has been privy as to what is going to happen. So now she comes into this meeting on the defense, right? In an effort to prove her position within the company and to hopefully save her job, she ultimately makes a bigger mess, all because she allowed her emotions to get in the way. But let's continue.
I totally respect that, and I don't think Dom or myself today is going to give you any clarity or answers that's going to meet the expectations that you're communicating to us, Brittany. So I can't speak to.
So am I getting let go for no reason? If you guys can't give me a reason?
I'm happy to follow up with you separately to give you the data that was calibrated. I'll need to speak with revenue leadership specifically to see if we can get that for you. But Dom and
Can
I
you
did
share
not
that
have
with me
that
now?
in our meeting. I cannot share that with you right now, unfortunately. Yeah, it's understandable how you feel and your frustration. Cannot stress that enough.
I have been working extremely hard. I just knew that this meeting was coming after knowing what's been happening with my peers and how extremely frustrated and upset everyone is. I know you guys must not be able to understand that given in the positions that you are in, and it must be very easy for you to just have these little 10-minute, 15-minute meetings, tell someone that they're fired, completely wreck their whole life, and then that's it with no explanation. That's extremely traumatizing for people, if you can imagine that. And I don't think that this is, it's just very, very shocking. Very, very shocking.
Let me help you understand something. And I'm doing this for a reason, because I believe there needs to be more conversation around this for our younger generation. Watching this, I already know how it's gonna go. They're gonna continue to empathize with her as much as possible, but they're gonna pretty much tell her the exact news that they said to tell her before they got on the call, which is,
we're letting you go, and we'll follow up with an email, and that'll be the end of it.
so the very thing that they said to do in this conversation will be done anyway. So the problem in this is trying to help individuals, especially in our young generation, where people turn on the camera and it gives you this sense of false justice because you feel like because you're recording it and you're letting the general public and population view what's really going on, in a sense, but it's a false sense of justice. Sometimes, depending on the scenario and the situation, that may work out in your favor. I don't think in this case it is, because what I believe she has done now is she has overshadowed all the great performance and the things that she's done in the 4 months she's been at this company by proving herself. And I say proving because they're sitting here, first time meeting her. This is their first encounter with this young lady. So whatever performance, whatever statistics that were given to them based on her performance possibly has now been completely overshadowed by this difficult and demanding disposition, as if you're going to make them say something that they probably can't or just are not going to say. I feel this is important because there are just some things within our social landscape that should not be recorded and put on social media. This conversation should have happened offline. She could have still stood up for herself, then went on her platform after the fact, shared her experience, and maybe she would have had a little bit of time to kind of consider her thoughts and what she would have to share with her audience as it pertains to this particular instance. But what she has done now here, she has now ruined her reputation with the company. So now whatever opportunity you had to get rehired possibly is probably now gone down the drain. But then you now have lost potentially a reference for another opportunity that could come in the future. Because what you don't understand is just because you're getting let go doesn't mean your relationship with that entity has to be dissolved. You're gonna need references in the future as it pertains to your performance and your activity within a certain profession or department, etc. You get what I'm saying? Being someone in higher management and someone who's in positions of managing individuals and having to do this hiring and firing stuff, it's very unlikely that the individuals that could offer her a good reference for the next opportunity will after seeing this video. And then on top of that, it damages your reputation as a professional or an employee. And that's what I think the real thing I want to push and get you to see as a young person who is seeing videos like this and thinking, I'm just gonna record it and let everybody know how y'all doing us. Listen, this act or this event is probably something that was out of their control. Who's to say that they're firing you just because? Most people are not just firing just to be firing. It could have been an instance where they overhired and need to let go. It could be an instance where there's some changes happening behind the scenes and they have to get rid of some people, and sometimes that means the people that are lower on the totem pole usually get let go first sometimes. But whatever the reason is, like I just said, just because your position has dissolved doesn't mean your relationship has to. I honestly believe everything she said about her performance. I don't believe that she wants to be this difficult, combative, demanding individual that she's displaying here in the video, but I believe her emotions have gotten the best of us. And that's the thing that I feel needs to be kind of put in check as it pertains to our activity and behavior in these social networking environments or platforms, right? There are some things that just should not be put on camera. She's talking about her performance and all those things and everything that she did within her position, working hard and all that. That is amazing and beautiful. But what you also have beyond that is your professionalism, your integrity as an individual. And all of these things have been put into question with this simple recording of feeling like you're getting justice because you're putting them on blast. It's not a good look. I know there are some who are wanting to see how this ends. We can take a look and allow you to see how it ends.
Shocking. I've really given my whole energy and life over the last 4 months to this job. And to be let go for no reason is like a huge slap in the face from a company that I really wanted to believe in.
Can absolutely understand how you feel that way, why you feel that way. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing that we're going to say in this call in the time that we have that's going to undo the way that you feel right in this moment. I personally will do everything that I can to give you as much specific information as I can after this call. I can't make any promises. I understand where you're coming from. I can tell you that Dom and I do care. I understand the feeling that you have right now. And I can't change that. So I'll just be honest.
But why can't, you guys have still not given me a reason why I'm being let go. Despite constant positive praise from my manager, great meetings that I'm having, the amount of activity that I have has all been positive. I have not received any negative inclination. I have not been put on a performance improvement plan, nothing. So
I cannot speak to what your manager has communicated to you directly.
But that should be the indication
for performance based on your attainment and leading indicators of data. That is the rationale.
So you see how this young lady, the superior, cut her off. They're now growing tired of these antics and this behavior. They're no longer willing to listen and hear her out anymore because they see that she's pushing for something that they can't answer. And now they've concluded that they are wasting their time. So she's now just like talking and she's just gonna pretty much paint the picture again.
We're sorry, this is not what we necessarily want for you, but this is out of our control. There's nothing we can probably say that will help change your mind.
All of the things that she's been saying since the beginning of the video, she's gonna keep reiterating it, and that's gonna be the end of the conversation. But here, I'm gonna let you see for yourself.
But I've been here for only a month after ramping, and that was during a holiday. So I don't understand can you explain what those performance metrics are? Or is that just like a vague term to give to everyone that you're speaking to today?
I'll say that the performance indicators and performance metrics are, while we're not able to go into specifics, and there's no situation where we will be able to go into
Do you guys even know like why, like who you're talking to each day? Like every single 10, 15 minutes, do you guys even know who you're talking to? Like why you're letting these people go when you don't even understand like the kind of work and everything that they've put in?
I hear you and what you're saying.
It just doesn't make any sense that you guys have still not been able to give me a reason why I'm being let go.
Just from a process perspective, your questions are valid. This isn't going to be the forum and the situation where we're able to go into the detail that you're looking for.
But then when? If it's not right as I'm getting fired, then it's certainly not going to be after when I'm no longer part of the company.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything we can say in this moment or today, Brittany, that's going to change the way that you feel. And it's understandable. I'm taking notes and feedback, and we'll circle back.
Yeah, I know you did that for Nestle too, but that's
the meeting. It's not going to change the outcome of the situation today, so it may be best if I do get into more of the specifics of what the next steps are, because I think it's clear that you have questions that we cannot give answers to, and if you'd be open to it, I'd love to move into what the next steps are so that you're not any further blindsided than you already feel.
Okay.
Thank you, Dom. Okay, and I'm really sorry that you're having this experience and feeling this way. One of the things that we want to confirm is your personal email address, because that's where all.
Just like I said, they're gonna ask for her personal email. She'll get a very nice email from someone, whether it's them or not, restating what they've already told her, assuring her of their support as she moves on and goes back into the workforce to find another position. My mission for doing this particular video is not to embarrass this young lady, not to judge her in any way, and not to speak to her personal character because I don't know her. What I'm speaking to is this social environment where we have been made to feel just because we have a lens on a situation and we're able to record and get these sound bites of what has taken place in any event, that it warrants us to make those things public. And I feel that this particular type of broadcasting is damaging more to her than to the corporation themselves. Because while people will empathize and see and understand where she's coming from, because this has not happened to only her. I mean, many people, I included, who have gotten calls like this, and sometimes you don't even get a call, you just stop hearing from them, or you just go in and you realize that you're no longer a part of this company. I've been there. We've all been there, right? But what has to be understood is that your behavior in this global digital space will speak more to who you are than you just losing a job or a position in a given moment, right? What could have happened is she could have spoke to, just like she did, her performance metrics, all the things she's done for the company in this 4 months that she's been there, instead of pushing for an answer. Now, maybe asking initially, and when you realize that this is not what you're gonna get, what now should happen is you realize,
okay, these people either are not gonna tell me or they don't have the authority to tell me. But what I want to do is let me at least leave a good impression with them.
She's constantly speaking of this manager and who this person is that she's normally dealing with, and now having to see these individuals is like a shock to her. Well, these individuals could be the ones that could recommend you in the future or remember you in the future. What should have done at the point of realizing that you were not going to get what you wanted out of this conversation was to at least state who you are, your performance, why you feel like you are the best fit for this position, and keep the conversation open as to say,
well, I'm very disappointed in this, but however, if an opportunity avails itself, I would be willing to consider it.
You know, there has to be a certain level of respect, first of all, and let's just keep it honest, a certain level of humility that has to come even in these moments when you're offended, you're feeling blindsided, all these things that we've all dealt with, right? I don't think anybody goes into a position and wants to get fired. I don't think that ever happens. However, it happens, and it happens more often than not. But in order for you to be in a position to move past it and build a professional reputation for yourself, you have to handle these things, first of all, privately, and second of all, in a way that leaves that company and those individuals knowing that, wow, this person, at least they took it like a champ, they're professional, they're respectful, and yes, their performance metrics match up and they're really good. You know what I mean? Maybe in the future we need to reconsider them. Or if we don't have the opportunity to reconsider them, we'll give them a reference to the next corporation, etc., etc. These are things that you must think about when you go and you feeling like you need to put these people on blast because of what the injustice that you're enduring from their decision. It's not always necessary, and most times it's not. So I want to encourage my young people who may be in the job market, who may be in professional positions, who may have just gotten let go, and you probably look at this situation like, yeah, I understand. I wish I had enough guts to stand up like that as well. You may not want to do it in this manner, or record yourself doing it and place it on a public platform. That's just my advice. That's just my tidbit. My best to this young lady. I'm hoping she can recover and move on and find something better for herself when it comes to her professional career. But for those who may watch this, please, please, please do not practice this, or as they used to say, don't do this at home, because it's not worth it. I hope this opportunity to get an insight into how to navigate some of these challenging situations, like getting fired, you know what I mean, like getting let go, especially when you know you haven't done necessarily anything wrong per se. You know, your performance is good, you've been to work on time, you do what you're supposed to do, and yet still you're being let go. It's not always fair, but you can recover. And that's the truth. I hope this video has helped you, and please share this with a young person who needs to understand how this thing really looks, because from their vantage point, they may see, okay, it's just my likes, my shares, and all the people in my comment thread that are agreeing with me and supporting me and hooraying me, celebrating me, for doing this act. That might not be the only eyes and the only people that you need to be concerned with when it comes to doing something like this. You need to also be concerned with the other corporations who now do a due diligence when it comes to your digital footprint. before they even really dig into your references. Sometimes those are secondary to them just doing a deep dive into who you are digitally. And if a company is potentially thinking of hiring you and they run into this, it may cause them to second guess their decision. So that's all I have to say. I hope this has helped you. I hope you find the wisdom in this, and this can help you in your professional journey as well. I thank you for joining me. Listen, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here, same place, same time. Take care.